Well, good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna. And this morning, we wrap up this whole series that we've been doing on mental health because May is, of course, is Mental Health Awareness Month. And this morning, we want to put a period, an exclamation point at the end of the sentence, at the end of the whole paragraph of what we've been doing, looking through the lens of my book, looking through the lens of my book, and I certainly hope you've gotten the book, of course, and that is Leading Through Storms, Successfully Navigating Ministry While Maintaining Your Mental Health. And there it is on the screen for you. You can get it. And make sure that you get it. Make sure you do a review. I've been telling everybody now, do a review. If you don't give me less than 5 stars, then don't bother. Don't go nowhere. And go to Goodread. Go to Goodread because Amazon is kind of quirky. I don't know what is the deal with them, but I need to go to Goodread. You can do that. But at any rate, I want to welcome my life changer, another life changer. We have been so blessed at New Life in that we have several professionals in counseling and therapy. Kendra, we're going to say more with Kendra right now, but y'all shout Kendra out this morning. And can you all shout her out this morning? You can put it in the chat area and let me greet some folk on this morning. Let me get to it. Ramona, you're always number one. You're always number one. Elder Jan, how are you? Missed you. I don't know. You guys, well, I guess yesterday was so different. It was kind of different. Didn't see everybody, but good morning, Elder Jan. How are you? Brother Nesbitt, I certainly saw you, of course, always keeping me safe. Good morning, Brenda. How are you? Good morning, Gerald. How are you? Good morning, Laura. How are you? Lena, how are you? You know, I didn't see my usual folk at New Life on yesterday. I think I saw Brenda about that long. It was kind of different. It was kind of different, but it was a good different. Now, before I go any further, I want everybody to see here. You see this? See, if you watch NBA last night, you know you see my neon sign going on here. Is it is the Knicks. If you watched the game last night, my God, what a game! What a game! Any fans on now? I'm doing all this bragging. They're gonna mess around. I hope they don't lose, but at any rate, I'm representing today. All about the Knicks. Good morning, Brother Pope. How are you, Denise? How are you? Dawn, how are you? Valerie, how are you? Linda, how are you? Good morning, Pamela. How are you? Denise, how are you? Okay, there's somebody shouting you out there. Kendra, how about that? Brenda shouting you out. Y'all say hello to Kendra. She's going to share some things in a moment here. Good morning, Francine. How are you? Elder Jan, you said okay. Shouting out, Pastor Leah. How are you? You know, some folks said, you know what? I'm off today. You think I'm gonna be getting up 8 o'clock in the morning to be watching in the morning? Man, are you kidding me? Well, today is, and we do want to shout out those who gave their lives for our freedom, who wore the uniform. And so I flew the flag yesterday when I got home from church, and it's flying today. I turned it back around. I have been flying my flag upside down. I do need y'all to know that when you fly the flag upside down, it is a sign of distress. And from my view, America is in total distress right now, total distress. But I turned it around and put it the right way because I want to do those who gave their lives definitely want to do that and celebrate them and memorize them. But other than that, when I put my flag out, it is upside down because we are in a bad way right now. Okay, let's say hello to some more. Ramona said, good morning. Well, how about why don't we start right there? Good morning, Kendra. How are you? We are so glad that you are a part of the Manna fam on this morning.
Yes,
And so, can you just tell the Morning Manna fam who you are and the whole nine? Welcome.
sure. Well, good morning, Bishop, and good morning, Manna family. Thank you for having me. It's truly a pleasure, an honor to be on here and especially discussing mental health. My name is Kendra Brooks. I am a licensed professional counselor both in Illinois and Missouri. But my full time job is I am a director at a therapeutic day school called Menta Academy. We are a pre-K through 12th grade um, special education school that not only focuses on the academics, but also focuses on the social and emotional wealth and goals of our students. And I have been doing this for about 13 years now.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yes. So I do that. Plus, I also do private practice therapy. I signed on to a company called Midwest Advanced Behavior Health as well.
So tell us a little bit about the school. That's kind of different. I've not heard that before.
Yes.
So kind of expand just a little bit about that.
Sure. So, for you that don't know, we with different for education. There's different levels of education. There's the regular public education that students receive, and then there's students that need that extra assistance either with their academics or behaviors. There's a special education population, and those students have what's called an IEP, which is an individual education plan that offers them more supports and accommodations in order for them to obtain their education. If they're not successful in their public education, that's when the districts reach out to private day schools to contract with them to provide them those services. So I always tell people we think outside the box. We are a very positive school, we're not punitive. So we don't do suspensions or send home students or anything. We really get down to what is the antecedent, like what is driving the student to not be successful in that classroom setting. And sometimes it just takes that smaller classroom setting. That social and emotional support is very, very big for our students, and just that extra guidance and attention.
Wow, wow, that is a lot. I'm sure the Manna fam have not. Well, I'm assuming that many have not heard about that level of education that is out there. That is really excellent. Now, could you tell us a little bit about your own practicing and how you can do that? And if some were wanting to need your services, where they could do that and find you?
Sure. Yes. So I've also been a licensed professional counselor since 2006, but my main job was always with the school. But now that my girls, I have two teenage daughters that are both graduated from high school now, I have went back to my original passion and started experiencing more of the private therapy sector. I do specialize, of course, with children and adolescents, but at my private practice, I do all types of the adults, children, everybody. So it's actually a breath of fresh air because it's another lens of seeing just how many people that don't have that are basically kind of, I'm not going to say forced into the treatment, but they are seeking to that treatment just to have somebody to talk to, just to bounce ideas off, just to know that you are not alone and that there is somebody there to support you. So my office is in Swansea, and again, it's called Midwest Advanced Behavior Health. There's about 6 of us licensed therapists there that see all types of clients that are requesting therapy.
Wow, wow. So, Manafam, you've had a whole how can I say it? You've had so many options in this past last week and now today. If you or someone you know really needs some help, you have many people that you can reach out to. You can go back and kind of check it out. 3 of the 4, of course, are life changers, and all of which we have great relationship with. And I am for whatever reason, the first therapist who was so well. Can you remind me of her name? I'm embarrassed right now.
You talking
Daphne,
about
could you remind me of her name? Our first guest. I don't.
Tammy Tellez.
Tammy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I wanted to give all of them a shout out. It was Tammy, Rashonda, Mindy, and now Kendra. And so all of them are great therapists. They will certainly do you good. And I want you to please, if you are not in need of their services, I know you may know someone who is. Now, here's the thing. Before I move into what we're going to talk about this morning, I want to let you guys know something. One of the things that emerged in our talking and discussing was the fact of family members. How does a family member manage themselves? How do they support the family member who is having struggles, who's having challenges with their mental health? We are ready to jump with the person who has cancer and walk with them. We're ready to go with the person who has had surgery. We find it more difficult for the family member who is dealing with mental illness. And so I do want to do something special just with all of the therapists, with just to that, so that we can empower family members who deal with that. Want to just remind everybody, you can get my book here. I want you to get it. You can put it on the screen. Please do that. And it will really, really, I think it will, I know that it will make all the difference in that. Don't look at it just through leadership. Look at it through anyone who is going through any storm, because God has not suspended storms. And as Mindy said, you can't do anything about when the wind starts blowing. You just need to know, how are you going to cope with those things? Well, let's kind of do a review. At the very beginning, we started out, and it was before the storm. It's before the storm, and we raised that question: how can leaders proactively assess and guard their mental health before burnout begins? And then we went into the weather alert. We asked that question: how do you help leaders identify, and that is everyone, identify the weather alerts of mental overload and emotional trauma? And then on Friday, we were talking about in the storm. And we raised that question: what are healthy coping strategies for leaders who must continue leading during a personal storm? This morning, we put an exclamation point at the end of this great paragraph that we've been dealing with all week long. And what does true recovery, Kendra, what does true recovery look like from your perspective? And how can individuals or leaders avoid jumping back in too soon?
So when I was presented with this question, is what is true recovery? Immediately, I was like, true recovery? Is there really a such thing as true recovery?
Mm.
And I think that sometimes that's what leads people not to do therapy, because when they try it and they don't feel like they're truly recovered, they think something's really wrong with me. So I think we have to remember that true recovery is your own personal journey. There is no set timelines. There is no set, you should feel this way by then, you should feel this way by then. It is your own personal journey. And you yourself only know when you truly feel like you have recovered.
You mentioned something that I think is so important. Something is really wrong with me. Is that, help us with this language that we use when we describe those who are dealing with mental health? Is that the language? What language should we use? Is it disease? Something's wrong? Is sick? What is it that we should say? How do we say it? How do we say it?
It is interesting that this came up too, because of one of my students. We are also celebrating Mental Health Awareness Month as well at our school, and we had posters all around the building that I had purchased on Amazon. And some of them said your mental health matters, and other posters said it's okay to be mentally ill. And the student ripped down the poster and said, "Miss Brooks, I'm not ill. There's nothing wrong with me. I just need help to get through what I'm getting through sometimes." And that was very profound to me.
That
And I,
is.
because we really use the terms very loosely: mental illness, mental health, mental disease, diagnosis, and all those things, but make people think something is wrong with me. And it's nothing is wrong. It is that you are struggling to get through whatever that storm, whatever that challenge is in front of you. And you just need someone to help assist you to get through that.
And sometimes that may mean medicine.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sometimes that could mean medication. Sometimes that could just mean a support group. Sometimes that can mean mental health services with a therapist.
Wow. Here's a question from Linda. She says, I work in the emergency room, ER. How would you suggest dealing with casualties while
Mm.
working?
Yes. First of all, I commend you and definitely have a lot of respect for the work that you do. I think you have to remember, just as my colleagues have been saying, that self care, anything that we do, whether it is a very personal thing or just something that we observe or go through, can be trauma. And those trauma is that traumatic response that you have to whatever is occurring around you. It's your emotional regulation of those things. And it's very common for people to have traumatic responses to something that is very disturbing to them. So in that line of field, I know that with working in the ER that you are kind of sometimes desensitized by those things where you just continue to pile on those feelings, pile on that pain, pile on like the grief that you're feeling as well for your patient or client. And that you need to allow yourself to go through that trauma, to allow yourself to feel those feelings and not feel like, okay, I'm an ER nurse. I should be used to this. I should expect that. That's not how we are designed. We're designed to express ourselves. We're designed to feel those things.
Wow. Wow. I like this here that says that true recovery is your own personal journey. Let's press in on that even more. What if that person feels as if that they are have that they are fine, but their definition of fine and their behavior is clearly not? What do you do?
Those are difficult because, as we know, nobody can force you to do anything. It has to be within you. So never give up on that person and always allow them to know that there is support for them. When you know with your recovery is that you see yourself, that you're using those healthy coping strategies, that your relationships are enhancing and becoming more positive. Your self esteem could be increasing, that you recognize those unhealthy patterns. And at times I know there are people that say I am fine and they truly aren't fine, but it's just offering them that support and letting them know that there is somebody to help you when you are ready. That's the most important thing, is you
When
have to
you're
be ready
ready.
to make those changes.
Wow. When you're ready, or we're just here to help you. In my book, I talk about my own personal journey in that, and I talk about having a counselor, having mentors, having places that I could talk about. And I think one of the things that helped me was that I came up before I was in civilian ministry. I was in a chaplain, and the culture of being a chaplain in the Air Force was one of, you get help if you yourself. That's not always the culture in the civilian sector, but and so I came up in, okay, you need a counselor, get a counselor. You know, after your client leaves, then you go in the back door and talk to somebody yourself. And so that's what really helped me. Um, and that's what I did to say, and it wasn't until I really wrote the book that I started really grabbing a hold of the fact of some things that had deeply impacted me,
Mhm.
because I was busy trying to live. I was busy trying to make it work. I was busy trying to get from A to Z, from Sunday to Sunday, to 1 month to the next. And my nature is a resilient one.
Mhm.
You remember Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. I don't know whether you remember that, but
No, it sounded,
yeah,
it sounded
what is
good.
that? That's a toy. Many of those are probably watching right now. Or there was a big old bozo thing that would stand up and
Oh,
you could hit
yes.
it as a kid and it would bounce right back.
Yeah.
That's kind of my nature.
Mhm.
The fact that I've been knocked back, that is even the more reason why I'm coming back.
Yes.
Um, and so, but I see that, and I see what you're saying as well. We want to take one more question before we let Kendra share even more. Any questions right now? I think I saw one. Do you see yourself using healthy coping skills?
I would love to say yes all the time, but I'm human too. So you really, especially I'm a single mom. So of course everything has been poured into my girls, my job, and sometimes I have forgotten about myself. So you really have to carve out that time for you. You really have to take care of yourself, especially with being a leader. You pour yourself into so many different things, so many different people, so many different directions. And then with being a therapist, with myself, people, I'm constantly, receiving what they're giving me and everything. So it's very important that you take care of yourself and utilize those healthy coping skills. So I am getting better at that.
Wow. Well, I have that similar feeling. And I just want to kind of end with this in this way. It says, uh, the how do you deal with, and I want to press in on that. How do you deal with helping others while hemorrhaging yourself?
Mm,
That's true with moms.
yes.
That's true with mimis and grandparents. That's true with us. It's not necessarily therapists or chaplains or pastors. I'll ask it again. It's a double burden of helping others,
Mhm.
family members who are in trauma while hemorrhaging yourself. You got your own stuff. What do you do?
You just like one thing that they taught us in our program is you had to get your own therapy. You have to take care of yourself. And it's okay. And I know some people are like, you're a therapist. Why would you be getting therapy? Because we all have an emotional health that we have to take care of ourselves. You have to lean into the resources, lean into your support group. Your spiritual relationships are important. Your family, your friendships, all those things. You have to really, it just comes down to really taking care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, then you're not going to be useful to others or helping them through their storms. One thing that I learned is that I've had my license since 2006, but I recently just started doing private therapy because I told myself that I was not going to be a therapist that could not give 100% to my clients. I'm not here just to collect a check or to act like I'm listening when I have all my own stuff going on. So you yourself have to understand that we all have emotions. We all have an emotional well-being that we have to take care of.
It's very similar to when we get on the plane and we all know the drill to the point that we pay no attention to it. It
Mhm.
always buckle up yourself, put the mask on yourself before you even put it on the child that's sitting with you. Because you're not able to help them if you pass out. And one of the ways that I think can really, really help you, and it's a shameless plug, but it really does matter. My book, it really, I think there's a great deal of transparency there. And for those who are saying, you know what, man, I'm not ready for that kind of transparency, that's fine. But I think it will help when you see someone that is saying, okay, this is what, and I see myself as I'm here to serve others. This was one way that not only could it help me, and it helped me, but it also will do a two for one, what I love the most. is helping others. That's what I'm called to do. I know that my call in life is to make a difference in someone else's life. And so that's what that is. Someone says, yes, get mental therapy yourself to cope with your family members, to know your limitations. Absolutely. Because you can only go but so far. Well, Kendra, what would you say? What was the thing that you would say to our Morning Manna fam this morning? The one thing as a licensed mental health therapist that you would want the Manna fam to know?
I think it's just, again, just this whole entire week is just mental health awareness, and to understand that there's nothing wrong with you. We all go through something. We all going to face storms. We're all going to face obstacles. And you have to take care of yourself. Just like you physically have to take care of yourself, you mentally have to take care of yourself. And it's okay that if you don't know how to cope with something or a direction, it's okay to reach out and ask someone for that help, for that guidance. It does not mean that anything's wrong with you. It just means at that time, you need a little extra help and guidance to help you through that storm. Because at the end of the storm, there is that rainbow. And everybody goes through storms, and resiliency is very important. And that's something that I love to teach too, is you're stronger than you know. And you are not your past. And either to grow through something, you have to go through it. But once you go through it, you will be such a healthier and happier person.
To go through something, you have to grow through it.
Yes.
To go through something, you have to grow through it. And if you grow through it, you'll go through it. I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
And then I found a quote that really stood out to me when I was kind of preparing for this last night. One is the famous it's okay not to be okay, which we did a whole sermon at the church on. And then another quote is, you're not the darkness that you endured, you're the light that refused to die. And just remember that.
Oh, wow. I love that. I love that. Daphne, can you put that on the thing so that we can see that we can leave on that note? You're not, repeat that. Can you repeat that, Kendra?
You're not the darkness that you endured, but you're the light that refused to die.
And I am the light, and he is the light,
Yes.
which gives me my light that refuses to die. He is the light that cannot be comprehended by darkness.
Yes.
I love that. That's a sermon right there. When I preach it, then act just like you never heard it before, Kendra. Okay?
Yes.
Said, go, Bishop. My God, look at
I
the
will.
revelation that my bishop has. All right. Hey, thank you so very, very much. And Manna fam, make sure you know what to do. You need to share it. I know today is a holiday for everybody, for many. We do want to shout out those who gave their life for our freedom and commemorate them today as we enjoy today, many today off. But share this. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't be greedy. And make sure you get the book, do a review. And Kendra, the best of you and all the Knicks fans, I just need y'all to see something. I'm representing today here. And enjoy your day. The Lord be with you. His face shine upon you, give you peace. And we'll see you tomorrow morning with more Morning Manna. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
Bye now.